is on.
Great.
All right. So for me, I would prioritize the nonprofit budget issue. We could
Okay.
also just prioritize for later during that, during Cobalt Hour 3. It's also fine. But it might be good just to get it out of the way.
Okay.
What is this accounting transfer? What's that?
The transfer from crypto.com to EU LLC main account.
Thought we did that.
We did to crypto.com, but I don't know what happened here. I don't know if you then did it from crypto to EU LLC, because last time Saturday was not there yet. But maybe I know if you've done it.
Oof. It won't let me log in. Just super sucky. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So, I mean, if that's a priority, that is a priority, and we need to just deal with that. I mean, we need to make sure our money is happening properly.
Mm-hmm.
This should take, what, like 10 to 15 minutes? Seal and statement information. Oh, yeah, we could see their website's working. That's funny. Delaware state franchise taxes, urgent accounting. What's this? Oh, negative? I think I fixed that. I don't know.
You did? Oh, great. I didn't check.
I don't know. Support, any support priorities list. So obviously there's also the executive support priorities list.
Yeah.
And the other thing I need to do is like raise account access. So I think overall accounting might be the way to go. So we have accounting for crypto.com and personal payment. So let's see. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it could take a while. So does that sound good?
Accounting for ULC and crypto.com, just personal payment. All right. Yeah. I mean, and also if you wanna do the nonprofit budget issue, as you said, I mean, for me it's okay. I mean, I feel that we're on the same page now. But we can.
Yeah, let's just take care of that, because I'm the opposite. I feel like we're not on the same page, and that we just need to get on the same page, because it should be really simple.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we just spend 5 minutes to 10 minutes on it now, and then we can deal with the rest of it later during Cobalt Hour 3.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, those two sound good. Those two topics.
Yes. Sounds good. Great.
All right. So topic one is just this.
No.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm sorry.
Just copy what you wrote. What?
Yeah. Okay. You can go first.
Yeah, I'm just copying what you wrote here. So you say that you did not schedule for nonprofit budget. You scheduled for budget process. We had 2.5-hour session where we prioritized the POP and budgeting verifications. All right. So, I mean, what you're not saying here is you're not saying that, you know, we have gone over the nonprofit priorities many times before, right? And that we spent at least 2 hours between, I don't know, 5 people on this topic. So, you know, I mean, we're talking about at least, you know, 6 to 8 hours of time. Right? So And we didn't even spend 5 minutes on the assigned priority work. Sure, you can say, oh, we only had a topic and but in my calculation, we spent 6 to 8 hours of time between all the workers who are involved in this conversation.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jay, obviously you're right. I mean, there has been some things that got me confused. All right. All right. First of all, I know perfectly that we need to set up the board before we can release the funds, but I was thinking that it was mainly associated for you and Mel. And with the situation now, some funds could already be authorized. All right, so this.
Okay, so that sounds like it would be against policy, right?
Well, Stacy got paid, and also, I mean, there were a series of things that got me confused.
She didn't get. Tracy's never gotten paid.
No, but I mean, she was approved in the nonprofit budget. She did the work. I mean, I think.
But that's not what you broke policy on. You're breaking policy to make assumptions, right? You just said that you're making a bunch of assumptions. That you assumed all these things.
Yeah, for sure. I made the confusion. Yeah.
Well, no, being confused is not against policy. Making assumptions would be against policy, right? Assuming that someone else is just doing something and not actually. But I personally assigned you work on this, and it sounds like you didn't communicate anything to Moth and the rest of the team about it. And we didn't even prioritize to talk about it at all with Joyce when we spent over an hour on it. So that's my whole issue. And I tried to talk about it, and you guys were like, "No, I'm not interested."
No, I get it. I get the situation. I'm telling you, you're right. What got me confused was a series of things. Like, first of all, you told Moss, why don't you try to do the nonprofit budget? Then we said,
I didn't tell Moth to do anything. I told Moth that you need to choose your responsibilities, and here are the list of the priorities, and you need to choose. I'm not assigning you anything because it doesn't work. That's what I always do. I gave him a bunch of options. If he chose that, he must have chosen it. And then we told him to schedule. If he wants to prioritize working on the nonprofit, that's fine, but then he needs to schedule and prioritize and make it happen. Move forward with it.
Yes, exactly.
Just like any other responsibility.
Yes. So this got me confused.
Which was also assigned to you, assigned to Stacy and Mott, and Mel. So there's like 4 people trying to work on it. They're all assigned to do one thing, which is to schedule and move the work forward. And that was what's not happening. So hopefully it'll happen in Cobalt Hour 3 and we can get started on it.
For sure. But I mean, I got confused. I thought I was separating. I thought that the nonprofit budget, the CCC nonprofit budget, and the recruitment for the Borsetta were 2 different things, right? This was the first mistake. Those things that I got confused.
Yes.
So
that's obviously never been the case. Every time we've ever talked about it, we talk about them both together, and they're obviously one and the same thing because there's no difference between the nonprofit budget and the actual budget. So, there's a couple slight nuances, in terms of updating the budget process to include the nonprofit budget in review. But yeah, there's no difference. The assignment and the priorities are the same. And that's true with Stacy. Like every time we brought it up to Stacy, we made it clear that she needs to be doing and understand both. Like there's no, like, you can't just only do the budget like that. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was an.
Yeah.
So I would say that there are multiple assumptions going on in regarding assuming the work was separate instead of following the assigned responsibility, assigned work, and then you're assuming other people are. So those are the 2 assumptions I've heard so far, and then from there, My policy proposal was that we would actually separate out the work that is assigned versus unassigned work, and that for unassigned work, you need to still keep applicable the assigned work, which didn't happen. So it's not, that part of it's not against policy, but if you are, making all these assumptions, all these different assumptions are against policy, and how do you follow the policy? Like, what is the opposite of making assumptions?
Making questions, asking questions.
Yeah, exactly. Just asking questions. That's it. All right. Well, anyways, I think we're on the same page. I mean, it sounds fine.
Yeah,
About it. But if we
totally.
Then this would be some policy tracking for making all these assumptions. I mean, obviously, the whole idea, like, oh, I don't have to do the work because someone else is doing it, that is like totally against policy. That is like, especially on the highest level, the managers and the leadership of the organization, if you're teaching other people to just totally ignore work because you think someone else is going to do it, that is completely against policy at every level. It's like one of the number one highest level policies. That is terrible. So again, this would be really important to get into our policy database. So let's, I think there's two policies here. So add to policy database, right? Can't assume someone else is going to do the work. Is against policy. And then the other one is that you can't say that you completed the work and got it done, especially the team. Right? Like, it's against policy to say that you got the work done. And it sounds like a simple thing and a silly thing, like, oh, I can't tell people I got work done. It's like, no, you absolutely cannot tell people you got work done. That's like completely against policy, because you know what happens when you tell people you got work done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jay, you're right. I mean, I made 1.5 hours policy tracking, which was the half hour that I spent in the session with Moss and Joyce, and the hour that we spent in the session together about talking about unassigned work. Yeah.
Oh, but that's not against policy, though.
Yeah, but all was originated from making wrong assumptions instead of making the right questions, and we could have used 1 hour and the other half an hour, 1.5 hours of doing the actual work that is needed.
Sure, but that's what you should make it clear in the policy tracking, is that the policy that you broke is making assumptions. So let's take a look at your policy trackings.
I did.
Before.
Yeah, I think it's fair. In this way, I learned the lesson for sure. Also, I could have gone back and see the notes as I did after and see that it was very specific that you said scheduling and prioritizing nonprofit budget to Moss. You assigned this. Nothing to do with creating nonprofit budget or something like that.
Yeah, definitely not at all. That was not his assignment.
This was what you wrote exactly.
Yeah. I wonder why I can't actually copy and paste this. Oh, there it goes. So Alberto's policy tracking. So you said that it's about related to the unassigned work, related to nonprofit originating assumptions instead of asking questions. Yes, perfect. All right, cool. Sounds good.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. I hadn't seen.
Sorry, Jay, for anything.
Right? So the policy proposal would make it against policy to work on unassigned work outside of the context of your assigned work if it's applicable. Right? So, you can't work on unassigned work outside of the context of your assigned work if it is applicable. Right? So that would be the policy proposal, which I think does make sense at this point. It's just, it's a pretty simple policy. It's also a little bit of a vague policy in that it doesn't actually, it doesn't happen very often. Like, it's not going to be something that we're dealing with all the time. It'll only come up very rarely. But I think it's a reasonable policy because it does address situations where basically, if you're not able to address it quickly and get people on track and focused on the trajectories that need to be worked on, you can create chaos within the organization very quickly. right? If you don't have any way of realigning the work based on what is assigned, right? And so it's fine to work on unassigned work, but it needs to be in the context of the actual assigned work, not some separate thing if there's an applicability, you know? All right, cool. So I think we're done with that. You ready for topic 2?
I'm definitely ready, yes. So we want to bring up this, sorry, I forgot to ask you something. So we want to bring this up at eval, maybe.
Yeah, let me add the details. So it is fine to do unassigned work, but if there is assigned work applicable to the unassigned work you are prioritizing, then you must present and ensure that both the unassigned work and assigned work is being addressed. Cool. All right, so I think that is very clear, and it is a little, you know, it's a little odd of a proposal, but I think it's clear. I think it's applicable and important. All right, so I added that.
Especially because if you break the policy, you learn a good lesson.
Yeah, and it's a little nuanced. Like the problem is that, you know, I've seen this many times where an entire team can get consumed by unassigned work very quickly within days, right? And then all other work stops and everything falls apart. And next thing you know, you're hitting all these, you know, deadlines, and you're just going on having all these other problems, you know. So unassigned work can be very exciting, very invigorating, very, like, you know, momentum driven, you know. So unassigned work is more fun and more exciting and more interesting than assigned work. So it, you know, in this case, that wasn't totally the case. It was mainly just confusion and like a mistake. It wasn't particularly exciting. But anyways, unassigned work can be anything, you know? All right, so topic 2, accounting. All right, so this is where we get into the self-driven work. So for the accounting, we need to do a couple things. So list of accounting that needs to be dealt with. So we have org and account and what needs to be done.
Okay.
So lots of accounting. So the first account is crypto.com, and this is basically what's the solid, you know, the network. And what needs to be done is we need to set up new two-factor authentication.
Okay.
So we can log in. So then we've got United LLC, and we have Wells Fargo Business Checking. And for this one, we need to get funds transferred from crypto.com so that the money for the next so, right? And then from there we have my own account. So this is BitPay personal. Make sure Jay can get paid by being able to sell Bitcoin, etc. All right. Okay, so I think those are the only ones. I mean, the other ones, let's just note here. So Jay, uphold need to reset and get uphold functional so that it is the foundation to business accounts. So whenever we're doing business accounts, like for example, the uphold, this is Immensity Fund, I think. You know, we need to get the, what is it, the, I don't know, $15,000 out of this account. This would be crypto recovery. And first need to get a personal account verified. So basically, whenever you have a business account, I always set up an individual account, and you know, you want to make sure your individual account is all set up and organized properly first, and then you get business account set up, because then you have the backdrop of saying, okay, my personal account is fully verified and everything works for the personal account. Why doesn't the business account work? You know, so, and it's always easier to do the personal account first, and it's always easier to do personal accounts in general. So that can help, you know, there's problems and things are getting stuck on the business side, can help finalize and get that over the edge and get it finished. So I always do the personal ones first. All right, so this is what I have here.
Very, very smart thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like, you know, there's 5 of them. And I'm sure the list continues. Like we have to deal with the Chase accounts. There's other Wells Fargo cards. There's the nonprofit, right? Nonprofit cards. You know, there's so many different things that we need to be dealing with. Anyways, one at a time. So I'm going to get started here and try to get this crypto account organized. It also involves a little charging, discharge, to be able to do documentation, backup.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand something here. What is it? Yeah, UCT entity fund, correct. I confirm. The uphold here, immensity, yeah, right. UCT entity. Yeah. All right, Jay. So maybe quick 5-minute break. It's top of the hour. So that
we can do a little break and.
So when you come back, we do silent work.
Yeah, we're kind of doing silent work, although I'll probably be keeping you updated on the progress since it's the kind of work that is very frustrating. It doesn't function.
All right, so just before the break, I don't know if you remember the amount to sell and transfer. It was 2,635.
Yeah, but if we sent it to crypto.com, it should already be there. So anyways, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, just to information, I think. Good to have you. All right, 5 minutes. Jay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So I'm working starting line 40.
What do you mean?
I'm
Just do a new.
if you need
I mean, if you need a tab, just make a new tab for your work. If it's not applicable to the accounting, then it should just go to a different tab.
Okay. I mean, it's applicable
only
to the VA.
What?
Yeah, I can do a different tab. I mean, we didn't make topic.
Yeah, this is the accounting tab. So just make a new tab and call it SDR, right?
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna stop the recording here.